Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Abdullah Patel English High School and DRT Junior College. Let's start by our subject English. As we have completed by our chapter, poem and summary writing section, today we are going to start by our section 4, that is 4.1 History of Novel. I hope you have completed your icebreakers and brainstorming activities in your online assignment book. Now, dear student, what is novel? Everyone, I hope you have listened the term novel, right? Today, I am going to give just an introduction of our chapter about history of novel, how novel has been discovered, who started the novel, how many types of novels are there. Before starting with our topic of the textbook, I would like to give a short introduction in this session. In our next session, inshallah, I am going to start by the topic related with our textbook. The types of novels what they have provided to us. So, let's start by novel. See, the rise of the novel. I hope the slide is visible to all of you. The rise of the novel has been the increase of the reading public in the Augustan age was due to. So there were many factors that it gave the rise to novel. What was those factors? First, the growing importance of the middle class, as it was industrial revolution. So there was importance. There was the growth of importance of middle class people were emerging out. Second, the individual trust in his own abilities. People started to trust on their own abilities, capabilities, instead of trusting on churches, instead of trusting to the father or the pope. And the last one, the practice of reason and self-analysis. Whatever they are doing, they do the self-analysis of that, whatever the material they are getting, they are knowing, or whatever the material they are reading. The growing importance of the middle class family read to most readers were middle class women. The readers were specially middle class women. They used to borrow books from circulating libraries. As they were middle class family, economic conditions were improving. But then too, they used to borrow the books from circulating library at that time. Okay, I hope you understood the rise of novel during European colonialism. This happened. Now the definition of the novel. The Shorter Oxford Dictionary defines a novel as a fictitious prose narrative of considerable length in which characters and actions representative of real life are portrayed in a plot of more or less complexity. Now students, further in our chapter, we are going to see about the characters, the importance of characters in a novel, about the prose, about the plot, all we are going to study in our chapter. So, the Shorter Oxford Dictionary, what it defines, that a novel is a fictitious prose which narrate us the length in which about the character which reveals the novel and action representative of real life, what has actually happened in real life, that is shown by plotting, by doing setting of more or less complexity. So here, what is important in novel? Plot. Now what is plot? What happens in the story? That is plot. Character, who is involved in what happens in the story. Point of view, how the story is told, in which form it has been told, that is the point of view. Setting, when and where the story takes place, where it has been happened, the incident has been happened. Novelist criticism, the interpretation of philosophy of the writer. the main thing, the main aspect of the novel is the interpretation of the philosophy of the writer. Moving further, as I have already told you that there are many types of novel that have been explained in our chapter. So I would just like to have a short glimpse of it. See how many types of novels have been given you here. Yes, 9. Epistolary, picaresque, experimental, novel of manners, sentimental, gothic, historical, social realism, psychological, stream of consciousness, and many others novel are there that can be seen. Okay, moving further, dear students, today we shall know about novel, a very important aspect of literature, in a form of literature. Literature is a form of human expression. Students, you are already acquainted with the types of literature, example, prose, poetry, drama, etc. Today, we shall know about novel. Students, a novel is a piece of long narrative in literary prose. Narrative prose is meant to educate or entertain teller to the story, who is telling the story. It is an description of a chain of events. I repeat, novel is an description of a chain of events, one by one, chain of events. Novel is a genre of fiction writing. Okay, the fiction writing. Novel is a genre of fiction writing. A novel is a long work of narrative fiction. I hope you are getting what is novel. Novel is a long work of narrative fiction. Fiction refers to any made up story, purely meant for entertainment or education. Within the broad category of fiction, we divide stories by length. What is the actual length of the story? Novel is longer than a short story, longer than novella. Novella is a long short story. Novel means a book. Length, story. Students, novel is written in a prose form. We can consider it as a chapter, prose form. It is published as a book, a printed book, and a bound book. A novel is simply a fictional long story that is told in narrative prose form. The central trait of novel as a form is the use of prose. In what kind of way we are using that prose? Prose is form of language. It applies ordinary grammatical structure. Prose has natural flow of speech. How we are speaking. So that is only written over here. That dialogues are used in that novel, so as the reader will have the feeling that he is realistic. Whatever he is learning or whatever he is reading is ongoing in front of him. So the difference in size, a short story had one main character, and story is told through character point of view. Children, a novel has a great cast of characters, a group of people. Characters, a group of people who play the role, who have important roles in novel, and the story is told any of this character point of view. Keeping in mind of that character, the story has been written. Novels describe imaginary events people, and places, and have focuses on inner reason of reality based on human experiences. So, readers find close relation between life and art. Sometimes novel becomes complex, so it crosses information. Novel contains more than one character. Go through. A novel may portray the narration of many years. Actual work of novel is of portraying the narration of many years. The term novel originates from the production of short story that remains the part of European culture of storytelling. As already I've explained you in starting of this video that the economic condition was stable of middle class family when there was economic European colonialism, right? So here the term novel originates from the production of short story that remains a part of European culture. At that time only they started writing the book. So that was a short story, what happened at that time in that industrial revolution. So it remained the part of European culture of storytelling. The word novel is derived from the Italian word novella. Novella, Novella. 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 Here we are going to study this term, the exact term in our chapter also, which means new novel. Novella. New novel. New novel is based on Latin novellus. 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 Which means new, young, fresh, original, unique. Means new ideas were put in that novel. So it was a new thing to all the people. It was a very fresh material. After reading it, people were refreshing their mind. So it was the original content. It was unique for the people. English novel became a new genre in the year 1740 when Richardson published a novel named Pamela. This is considered the first true English novel and also the bestseller novel of its time. Pamela was widely read by the people. Now, what was the reason of reading? Yes, the essential element, the important element of novel include chapters, characters, dialogues, point of view, theme, setting and plot, which is the important essence of any novel. All these things, what? Chapters, characters, dialogues, point of view, theme, setting and plot. All these things are very important for writing a novel. So all these things were included in the novel written by Richardson titled Pamela. Hence it was the bestseller at that time and people widely read it and liked it. Middle class of England developed interest in reading in the year 1990. They started borrowing books from library. Many were in good economic condition due to industrial revolution, as I already mentioned, and that was resulted that they were ready to buy the books to read. Not earlier they were just borrowing the book, they were not buying, but here now the condition changed due to industrial revolution, and now as the economic conditions were getting better by day, so people were ready to buy the books also. The novel satisfied their interest, the novel satisfied their hunger of what? Yes, in narrative imaginary. I hope till here you have understood what I am going to explain about the novel, about the introduction. Before novel, people used to read biography, autobiography, journals, memoir, etc. Many more things were there that the people used to read. But with the appearance of narrative style of novel, it was appealing to the readers. The study of mankind through narrative technique appeared in novel. The authors of novel have been working with the various genre of novel to convey the human experience. Novels are arranged in various genres such as romance, horrors, mystery, satire, comedy, historical, scientific fiction, fantasy, etc. This many divisions are all have one characteristic, that is inner reality of human experience. Though there were different types of novel, but each and everyone was having one characteristic same, that was inner reality of human experience. Like other aspect of prose fiction, novels have essential elements like chapters, characters, dialogue, point of view, theme, setting, plot in a long term of novel. Chapters serve important purposes. They give the reader a pause and a way to think on the ideas for preceding chapters. What should be there, what will be there, what will happen in the next chapter. As we are seeing any movie, so we are having a craze when we see one part. We would like to know what is going to happen in the climax, right? So people were eager waiting that what will be the next story in the next chapter. Chapters can be numbered or titled or both as well. Second is setting. Setting is a time and location and place in which story take place. Also the climate, weather, lifestyle prepare the setting. Next is characters who are involved in what happened to the story. Next, plot. Plot is the storyline, the order or arrangement of incident or sequence of events in a story create a plot. Plot says what happened in the story. Plot says what is developed in the story. What is revealed in the story. Know the point of view. Point of view is how the story is narrated, how the story is told by the first person narration or third person omniscient narration. Theme is the cultural idea of the novel. The author message is conveyed there. The purpose of writing the novel is expressed in theme. Theme possesses a question or human problem. Different types of novels are there, like social, domestic novel, historical novel, autobiographical novel, epistolary novel, picaresque novel, experimental novel, sentimental novel, gothic novel, and psychological novel. In this video, in the starting only, I have shown you a slide which contains different types of novels. A novel is like a bow and the violin that produces the sound in the reader's soul. It has been said by a great man, Stendhal. Now the key question is like how, who, why, what, where, when. Allow the readers to understand the whole novel. Soon we shall going to understand novel. Have good time, happy learning, stay at home, stay safe, and do your activity in your online assignment book as you get time. I know you are having different subjects to deal with, but don't forget that you are in this year fighting with many things. The most important thing is that you are fighting with time. You don't have so much of enough time to deal with. So stay at home, stay safe, and do your activity on time. Do not delay it. I hope you understood my topic today, that was the history of novel introduction. In our next session, inshallah, I am going to start by the explanation of history of novel. In this chapter, we are not having icebreakers. The chapter started directly, and at the end we are having brainstorming activities that I am going to solve. So till then, stay safe, stay at home. Thank you.